What are you doing?
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
For most, the phrase "A Star is Born" refers to the movie bearing the same name, whether it's the 1937 original, the 1954 remake, the 1976 remake. Jesus, who the hell knew there were so many remakes of this movie? Or the more relevant 2018 version with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. For me, though, the phrase "A Star is Born" refers to June 2nd, 1968, in Browns Mills, New Jersey, when a true star was born, Lester Green, better known to the world as Beetlejuice. From his origins in midget tossing to his appearances throughout the 2000s in various movies and even a video game, almost appearing in a major blockbuster film, which we'll most certainly get to his many, many, many legendary appearances on The Howard Stern Show, some of which are even multilingual. This is
Spell red.
Red? L-S-T-E-R.
Lester Green was born as the second youngest in a family of 6 children led by his single mother, Lily, of which all of his siblings were healthy except him and his sister, Erica, who had a similar condition as Lester, and she, of course, would eventually appear on The Howard Stern Show along with Beat. He spent his childhood growing up in the projects of Jersey City, just a few short miles from a certain radio studio that would eventually change the course of his life forever when he would reach 31 years old, but we'll get to that. Of course, at birth, there were a couple things different about Lester than the average person, and that was both his diagnosis of dwarfism and microcephaly. Obviously, we all know what dwarfism is, but microcephaly is a condition where you have a much smaller than normal head. It also affects brain development, often resulting in not only intellectual disability, but dwarfism as well. Lester also has microcephaly to thank for the name that the world knows him by, as the name Beetlejuice originates from the character Harry the Hunter, who has a shrunken head in the movie Beetlejuice. As an adult, Beat's head is only about 15 3/4 inches round, as opposed to the average head, which is about 21 to 23 inches. He also only stands 4'3", though if you ask him,
"How tall are you?"
Me? About 6'9".
I also want to point out that Beat is not the only notable entertainer to have microcephaly, as there was a 1932 movie called Freaks, whose tagline, by the way, was, "Can a fully grown woman truly love a midget?" Well, the ladies sure do love Beat, so I'd say yeah, they can. Anyways, the movie featured a number of actors with microcephaly, including a pair of sisters, Jenny Lee Snow and Elvira Snow, known by their stage names Pip and Flip, as well as Schlitz Surtees, aka Schlitzy, who is also a sideshow performer with Barnum and Bailey, which Barnum and Bailey really isn't that far off from the golden days of the Stern Show. So, in a way, if you really think about it, it all sort of ties together. Anyways, growing up, Lester attended PS 31, or Public School 31, in Jersey City, and his teacher, well, at least one of them, was Linda O'Connell, who is the mother of the actor Jerry O'Connell, who you know from Stand By Me, Jerry Maguire, Kangaroo Jack, which is pretty cool. I remember my dad taking me to see that movie when I was a kid, and a ton of other movies and shows. In a 2007 appearance on Howard, Jerry was asked about his connection to Lester and mentioned a couple of interesting things. For one, Beat and his family were sort of part of the O'Connell family, since Jerry and his brother Charlie, who's best known for appearing on The Bachelor, would often visit their mom at work, so they both got to know Lester rather well. Most notably, though, Jerry said that Lester was such a good student that he essentially became his mom's, that is Jerry's mom, her assistant, getting things for her and relaying messages. Pretty cool, but honestly, a bit surprising when you really, really think about it.
No, you just want to repeat after me.
Say what he says.
Yeah, just say what I say. All right? It was September 11th.
September 11th, whatever it is.
It was
It was what?
It was September 11th.
Eventually, one night when Lester was hanging out at a neighborhood bar, he was approached by Sean Rooney, who would go on to become Beat's manager and enlist Beat in his midget tossing company, which is about the time when he adopted the name Beetlejuice. Fast forward to the day that would change Beat's life forever, July 14th, 1999, when Lester made his first ever appearance on The Howard Stern Show. He appeared alongside another dwarf tossing participant, Frank Burns, and their manager, Sean Rooney, who was on the show at the time to promote his dwarf tossing business. The entire show staff and the fans took an immediate liking to Beetle, which would result in countless beyond memorable and quotable future appearances, which would quickly lead to Beat pretty much becoming an overnight sensation, with his first ever appearance outside of the Stern Show happening just 6 months after he first appeared in January of 2000. The 17th AVN Awards, otherwise known as the Corn Awards. Howard Stern won the Honorary Exclusive Achievement Award, whatever the hell that is in the corno industry, and sent Beat to the awards ceremony on his behalf to accept. Beatle's acceptance speech was so fucking long and drawn out with quote-unquote incomprehensible rambling that he had to be shut down mid-speech. Here's the clip.
I'm hot and I'm better.
And I'm in charge, so come on. The show is 2 hours. I promised a lot of friends 2 hours. We gotta go.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
Later that year, on October 2nd, Beat would appear on WCW Nitro, where he ran into pro wrestler Jeff Jarrett backstage, with Jarrett calmly asking Beat, "What's up?" and Beat promptly replying,
Hey, snap nut.
What'd you call me?
Snap nut.
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah, you, snap nut.
It's Mr. Flatnut to you.
Later on, during Jarrett's title match, Beetlejuice appeared in the ring where he really showed Jarrett who truly held the power. That's not Beat's only time in the squared circle, though. Throughout his career, he has done quite a bit of amateur boxing with other dwarves. And look, I know jack shit about boxing, but in some of the footage I've seen, he actually appears to at least somewhat know what he's doing. But it's not really surprising, though, as Sean Rooney's brother Bobby, who currently manages Beetle, which we'll get to in a moment, is a retired pro boxer, even being inducted into the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame in 2021. Sean was also a boxer, but only at the amateur level, I believe, although he was a basketball star in high school. Quick sidebar, Sean and Bobby's dad, Bob Rooney Sr., was also inducted into the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame in 2017, and he was also Chuck Wepner's chief sparring partner for the 1975 Muhammad Ali fight at the now demolished Richfield Coliseum in Cleveland. Anyways, all of those appearances would eventually find Beetle earning cameo roles in major movies coming out at the time, including the 2001 comedy Bubble Boy as the character Lil Zip, alongside Jake Gyllenhaal in the leading role portraying Jimmy Livingston, based on David Vedder, not to be confused with Eddie Vedder. David Vedder was a kid born in 1971 who suffered from a disease that drastically weakened his immune system, essentially as if he didn't have one. Because of that, he basically had to live inside a literal fucking bubble to avoid contact with anything that was non-sterile. He ended up dying in 1984 at the age of 12. But can you believe they made a fucking comedy out of that? Holy shit. Imagine if that movie came out today. Never would happen in a million fucking years. Anyways, Beetlejuice's character, Lil Zip, is a member of the freak show that Jake Gyllenhaal's character meets. A fitting role indeed. That said, if you were to ask Beetle what the movie Bubble Boy is about, he just simply doesn't know.
What's this movie about?
I don't know. You gotta ask them. I don't know.
Do you know what your scene's about? Your character?
I don't know. I don't got nothing to do with this.
Do you know your character's name in the movie?
I don't know. You got to ask them. I don't know. You got to ask these guys.
Another real quick sidebar, another wack-packer also appeared in Bubble Boy. Matthew McGrory, who is known for his height, standing at a whopping 7 foot 6 inches. He portrayed human Sasquatch in the movie, because of course. Unfortunately, though, he passed away at the age of 32 due to congestive heart failure, I believe it was. Beat's other notable film role came in 2001 as the brain of Shorty Meeks, portrayed by Marlon Wayans in Scary Movie 2. And real quick, while we're on the subject of Beat's acting career, I want to jump ahead to 2008 just real quick when Beat was set for a cameo in the 2009 blockbuster Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. If I recall correctly, Michael Bay put a photo out with Beat in the background teasing a potential cameo in the movie, but unfortunately it never came to fruition as Beat was just way too difficult for Michael Bay to direct. Imagine that. Shocker. Perhaps the coolest Beat cameo, though, and I didn't even know about this until I was doing this episode, is his appearance in the 2005 video game True Crime New York City as the character Zeke. Take a quick look.
Go on your own. Zeke will help. Zeke knows this place.
Perhaps one of Beat's most notable projects, though, is the song that he recorded for The Stern Show in 2004, This Is Beetle, with the key lyrics of
This is Beetle, is as bad as can. He knows he's the best.
Could those lyrics be any more accurate? I don't think so. The song is so great that even the band Stained, who, by the way, I don't give a shit what anyone says, that band is awesome, even they covered it, including it on the special edition of their aptly titled 5th record, Chapter 5. The song was also covered by Blues Traveler in 2005. Upon Stern's move to in 2006, though, the song was unable to be played on the show as CBS Radio owned all of Stern's K-Rock shows. By May of 2006, though, an agreement between CBS and was reached, allowing Howard to play the track. However, this wasn't the only issue with the track, though, as there was a dispute between Sean Rooney and Gary Delabate, Baba Booey, over the percentage share of profits between Beat and Richard Christy, the Stern Show staffer who produced the song. The song also eventually led to a 5-episode quote-unquote reality show called This Is Beetle on the now defunct Howard TV. Thank God for YouTube. Another quick sidebar, and most people are aware of this, but in case you're not, Richard Christy, who produced the song, is a very accomplished metal drummer, having played in such bands as Death, Iced Earth, and Charred Walls of the Damned, with former Judas Priest vocalist and fellow Ohioan Tim Ripper Owens, who's been on this show before, to which I'll put a link down in the description. Okay, back to Beetle. Although all of these appearances turned Beetlejuice into a huge star in his own right, his personal life started taking some major hits in the mid to late 2000s. First, his grandmother passed away, which definitely took a toll on him, but perhaps even more so is everything that happened between him and Sean. In early 2006, Beetlejuice, who was living with Sean at the time, found Sean lying on the floor and immediately called for Sean's wife, Michelle, to help as he was suffering from what appeared to be a stroke. I could explain it all to you, but perhaps it's best to just let the man himself tell you all about it.
So you know I really appreciate when you saved my life when I had a stroke, right?
Yeah, I told you I did.
What were you thinking when I said, Beat, help?
I kicked the door down.
And what was I doing? I don't even remember.
You was watching TV.
No, I'm saying, like, what was I, on the floor?
You was on the floor. By the time I came in there, you was on the floor.
And
You said nothing. You said, get off me, get off me.
And what did you do?
And I jumped out of the bed. I jumped out of the couch and kicked the door down. And I said, Michelle, Sean's on the floor.
So you did save my life.
Yeah, I did.
I do want to quickly mention that shortly before the stroke, Sean was actually banned from Stern's studio for threatening to kill the K-Rock general manager, Tom Chisano, in 2005. Shortly after the stroke, Sean left the following voicemail for Howard.
Tell Howard Stern I will beat the out of him. He leaves me on hold for an hour and a half. Who the does he think he is? Huh? Who the does he think he is leaving me on a hold for an hour and a half? Piece of shit, mother. He's with the wrong one. I don't give a how famous he is. Big deal. He ain't got the he was fucking born with, mother.
What?
Now, not too long after the stroke, he was arrested for an aggravated assault incident that happened right before his stroke, in which he punched some guy in the face. He was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 4 to 8 years. While incarcerated, he made an inmate connections profile looking for a pen pal, which I'll throw up on the screen here right now. You can take a look at it. Unfortunately, on Friday, July 10th, 2009, just 4 days short of the 10th anniversary of Beetlejuice appearing on Howard for the first time, Sean Rooney passed away in prison. The weird thing, though, is that on the air, Howard basically didn't even acknowledge this. He didn't even announce it, even though he knew about it. It wasn't until wack-packer Ass Napkin Ed called in and brought it up to Howard, and even then, he just essentially dismissed it. Here's the clip of the call with Ass Napkin Ed.
Did you hear about Beetlejuice's manager died?
Yeah, Sean.
Oh, you didn't tell me that?
Yeah, I heard Sean died.
When did that happen?
A few days ago, someone told me, yeah. All right, thank you, Ed. He was a nice guy. All right. Bye. Yeah, I'm losing everybody.
He brought us Beetlejuice.
Sure.
Wow.
Sean, yeah.
What could have happened to him?
What could have happened?
Well,
Who knows? I don't know. He had like a heart-related issue or something.
Heart attack, yeah.
I don't even know if it was a heart attack. I don't want to say
No, but he'd been sick for a while.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I was sorry to hear that. Sorry. All right, look, I got to move on and take a break.
This, of course, took a huge toll on Beat, who would make a very famous Stern Show appearance in a very depressed state, even contemplating suicide and hardly saying a word at all during the entire appearance. Sean's brother Bobby would end up taking the reins as Beetlejuice's manager. Originally, I think it was only supposed to be temporarily, but to this day, almost 15 years later, Bobby is still Beat's manager. Beat would eventually regain his happiness, but around the same time, Howard began drastically changing his behavior and the way that his show was ran, jumping the shark, if you will.
Hit him with the high!
Which led to a significantly less amount of Beat appearances and Beat sort of fading into obscurity, that is, until recently. I also want to jump in real quick and just say that it's very funny that the whole jumping the shark bit from John Hein originated like 20 years ago, maybe even longer, on the Stern Show, when John Hein had the website called Jumping the Shark about celebrities that basically sold out. And now, take a look at good old Howie in 2023. In 2021, he made a return, quote-unquote, appearance to Howard's show, appearing by voicemail after a 5-year absence. Last time was 2016 before that. After moving to Georgia with his mom to unveil a remix of his song Beetlejuice in the House, featuring Snoop Dogg, Sean Paul, and Big Frida. He later returned for an actual remote appearance in 2022 to announce Beatcoin, an NFT that would end up selling for $15,000 after 21 bids. Outside of those two appearances, though, Beat has remained largely absent from the public eye, other than appearing in videos filmed by him and his manager, Bobby. I gotta say, though, as we wrap this up, it really blows me away at how many clips I see of Beat online, whether it's YouTube or especially TikTok. And today's generation has no fucking clue who the guy is. Not a clue. I guess they see him as just some random living, breathing, real life meme, which honestly, it's really not all that far off, but still, show a little fucking respect to the legend. All right, though, I gotta run. My fiance is waiting for me to toss my dwarf into her, so I gotta go. But thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.